Hi guys! Today I am painting a simple forest landscape. For this sketch I will need cotton paper, watercolor paint, white gouache, brushes and a toothbrush. I have already attached a piece of paper to the surface with paper tape. I wet a piece of paper with water like that. There shouldn't be too much water. If necessary, excess water can be removed with a paper napkin. We start any landscape by writing sky and ground, as these are the two largest tonal and color areas. And then we will add trees, grass and flowers, so I'm getting started. I'll start with the sky. With a large brush, I take the cerulean and ultramarine colors, mix them, and begin to paint over the sheet in this way, using a brush to disperse the color along the surface from the horizon line to the top of the sheet. The horizon line will be at a fairly noticeable angle. It's like we're looking at a small hill that rises to the right. Now I'm drawing a green field. I will start painting the area closer to the horizon in sap green and add perylene green to the lower part of the sheet. I try to do everything very quickly until the paper is dry to get beautiful smooth transitions from color to color. I want the horizon line to be as blurred as possible and so that I don't see a clear transition from the sky to the field. Here, I focus on the background. I outline the silhouette of the forest and trees with large strokes. The trees that are further away from the viewer are painted in cold shades. That is necessarily with the addition of ultramarine. Everything that is further away is colder. Everything that is closer is warmer. While the sky is still wet, I remove excess paint with a clean dry brush, leaving almost white areas of the sheet that will become clouds. Like this. You can do it the same way with a clean brush or a paper napkin. Just gently apply a clean napkin to the places where you want to see the clouds, and the napkin will absorb the color. Next time, I will definitely try to show you this technique. Now I will mix the yellow and green colors and work on the grass with large strokes. I apply the color unevenly and leave some places completely untouched in this way, to have a complete sense of naturalness. I walk along the horizon line in blue again and make the forest brighter. I goes into the sky with the same color to emphasize the lower part of the clouds, so they will become more noticeable and acquire recognizable outlines. I mix green and blue and draw the foreground of the field like this, applying brush strokes at an angle. With the movement of the brush, I repeat the shape of the grass. I imagine that a light wind is blowing and the grass is tilted to the right side. I will continue to follow this rule in writing the field, making oblique strokes with a brush to the right. Earlier I drew a shadow near the clouds, and now I will add warm light to them using a little yellow color. A warm shade will give the sky more harmony. I would say not only to the sky, but to everything in general. Thus, the sky seems to connect with the field and the picture becomes more harmonious, since there is color support for the green field in the form of yellow in the sky. I add some more accents with blue strokes to make the clouds brighter. I paint the forest on the horizon in dark green again, and I begin to arrange the color accents. On the left side, I add clearer silhouettes of fir trees, and thus draw the grass of the same color. Let the paint spread out. I really like it, that's why I love watercolor, for its softness, transparency, and unpredictability. Guys, now it's time for white gouache. With it, white daisies will appear on our bright green field. I'll take a toothbrush, put some white gouache on it and saw the field with white flowers with simple movements. The main thing is that the leaf is still a little wet, so that the white color is a little blurred and resembles flowers. And in such a simple way, I sowed the whole field with wild daisies. It turned out to be very picturesque. I will add more details in the foreground a little later. I'll draw the fir trees in the background. I'll take a thinner brush and a more saturated color. First, I draw the trunk vertically, then the twigs in this way. All trees will be of different heights and width, and of course different shades of colors. I also want to draw a little more grass at the bottom of the leaf, at the same time continuing to add and draw fir trees on the horizon. I really like to work all over the sheet at once, so it's easier for me to put the picture together and constantly improve it. With the back of the brush, I will draw the trunks of the fir trees for guidance and continue to add details. Step by step, clearer silhouettes of fir trees will appear, since the paper is almost dry and the paint no longer smudges. This way, we create a complete feeling of diversity, depth of the forest and the entire space. Because some trees stand out strongly and come to the fore, while others remain blurred and thus fade into the background. I can achieve even more depth by adding detail in the foreground. For some flowers, I will draw the petals with white gouache and add more flowers in the background and foreground. I will add the yellow core to the daisy buds. Of course, I will not draw every flower, but will do it only for some objects. I will add more accents to the grass, draw the stems in the foreground and especially where the chamomile buds are, so that they stand out even more and come to the foreground. At the same time, I apply strokes with a brush at an angle, creating the feeling that the wind is blowing and the grass is leaning to the right. And here I want to add more daisies to the green field, even more white. The paper is already completely dry, and I am putting down the final accents that will complete our landscape. I take the blue-green color and start drawing the silhouettes of the fir trees again. Now the space will appear even more. I wanted to add a few more details to this work, and I think a piece of wooden fence will look very good. I'll just draw short vertical lines in dark green and then connect them horizontally. I'll draw a little more daisies, since it seems to me that there are a little too few of them. In the last video I told you that I really love wildflowers, and my favorite ones are daisies, so I especially enjoy the process of drawing them. And I also love this moment when you need to remove the paper tape from your work. Picture immediately changes so much, becomes brighter and even more complete. In my opinion, the landscape turned out to be very green and filled with sunlight. I hope you will be inspired by this video and draw your own landscape. Write to me about it in the comments. If you want to share your work on Instagram, mark me as Fedorovava. I will be glad to meet you and see your work. Thank you for your attention and see you soon.